Hey everyone, so I got this new deck called Everyday Witch by Deborah Blake, art by Elizabeth Alba. So we're going to do a spread today for the collective. Just a general reading. See what comes through. Nothing specific. If it's love, it's love. If it's career, it's career. If it's money, it's money. We'll just see. Oops. Wow. Alright. So, as you know, readings are pretty timeless. So, no matter what time you come across this reading, it's the perfect time for you. Readings are timeless. No pick-a-decks, just doing one deck. And I'll be using the Rider-Waite deck to clarify if I need to. Not trying for any reversals today. Just keeping the cards pretty much all upright. I think they're all upright. Alright. But yeah, if a reversal does come through, that's fine. I will take it as it resonates. And so should you. And if it doesn't resonate, that's fine. Take what does and leave the rest, as they always say. But you never know. Down the line, you may look back and be like, hey, that reading was right on. I know I certainly have done that in the past with some readings I've gotten. Shockingly unbelievable readings. Sometimes left me in tears, but always very accurate. Alright, here we go. If I do see a time frame, I will let you know, but as you know, time is pretty fluid, so it can happen from any point that you're watching this video. So far, I do have the King of Swords here. Two of Wands and the High Priestess. Just flying out now, aren't they? Wow. All right. This one was first. Interesting, interesting. right off the bat, you guys got a lot of major arcana going on here. A lot of wands and swords, too. Okay, we'll get 4 more cards. 2, that's 3. Ooh. Not bad. Alright. Alright, here. So, we have the King of Swords to start. This light is too bright, I can't tell. Let's see. Play with this. Can you see it better? Okay, I think that light's better there. So we have the King of Swords, the 2 of Wands, the High Priestess, the 8 of Wands, Temperance, the Emperor, 5 of Swords, the World, 10 of Wands, 5 of Cups, 7 of Swords, and 9 of Cups. So, let me just get clarifiers for each of these. Let's see. We're just going to go in order for the clarification. 1 card each. So 12 more cards to clarify. There's 1. Interesting. Got the 2 of Swords. So it's like the King of Swords wants to tell his truth, but he's staying neutral. Kind of has a choice, but isn't making a choice yet. Well, there's 2, 3, 4, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of wind in this story too. A lot of kind of like maybe even internal conflict or fighting, wanting to make a decision, but not. the High Priestess again showing up. Oh. Okay, I feel like that one there, and this one there, and there was one card that popped up, but we're just gonna flip that over because I feel like it didn't really pop out. Okay. And 3 more cards. I feel like the cards all just want to jump out at me today. It's a good thing. Sometimes they just don't want to talk at all. Oh. Okay. Just need 2 more cards to clarify. 7 of Swords and 9 of Cups. Which 7 of Swords actually popped up earlier as a clarification card. It's the main story card. So that's interesting. It's always interesting to see the commonalities. Oh, there's one. King of Cups. I feel like I'm gonna take this one because it popped all the way over. Alright, so we have the King of Swords. And I feel like he's a by the book person. He wants to speak his truth, but he has some different options, but is staying neutral. He is a man, but he has cat, which shows that he does have a caring side, I think. And so, even though he wants to speak his truth, he doesn't want to do so with his sword. He's kind of, you know, showing you by the book, but is holding restraint. And he's a very knowledgeable person. The Two of Wands. Again, it almost seems like this person, this King of Swords, has an internal conflict with 2 choices, holding the world in his hand in one and a wand in the other. So almost like, you know, a choice of being realistic in his own worlds and reality versus one of magic. And he's looking more at the reality than he is the magic. So he's not looking at all the magical possibilities, which could be love. Maybe looking more at materialistic. And then you have the High Priestess here, who is gazing into their crystal ball, kind of coming forward with their truth, with the swords. And then you have the Eight of Wands, where you have this one wand, and they're in this tornado, trying to keep all these other wands together, it feels like. And holding on to their most loved possession, which is a cat. And yet you have the happiness card too. So that one's a little confusing for me. Because you have the Seven of Swords, which maybe they're trying to balance, again, with this, like maybe you're trying to balance the conflicts of happiness or of this person that was, maybe this is the King of Swords who was thinking they were all sneaky and walking away with their swords and keeping everything in balance. But this High Priestess, again, and the Emperor, I believe is Aries, is showing you the truth of this person. And the Five of Swords, you have, again, people trying to keep the swords, from going into the cauldron. One is very upset. One looks worried. And one just looks like mesmerized by this. And then you have the clarification of one looking back at all that they have sown. So maybe this is like looking back at all the investment that you've had in this person. And you have all these feelings, the disappointment, the sadness, but also the wonderment of this person that you were with. And then you kind of like let them go. The world, you just gave that hat up and said, you know what will be will be. You walked away from the cups that you had invested in this person and walked away. And you carried this burden, but you were grateful for maybe the experience because you walked away from it. Because you felt defeated. The cups fell over, spilling into the ocean. And there was great sadness. Even though there was a celebration going on, you felt betrayed on this beautiful island. You felt sad. Like you could feel in a room of people and feel like you're the only one. This King of Cups you thought was bringing you love but brought deceit, was being dishonest, sneaking away with Seven of Swords here. And ultimately, you have found balance. And there's Nine of Cups. So you went from feeling this betrayed person, you felt betrayed. This King of Cups was sneaking around. Do you see this? And now you come back and you feel the balance, the serenity. The Nine of Cups are all in order in your castle. And you're doing good. The, see, clarification for Nine of Cups, too. So, things to consider if you had a wish granted or a dream come true. Congratulations, especially if you've achieved a goal you've been working hard on for a while. This card can be a sign of good things of here and now waiting in the future, but can also be a warning that you need to keep your eyes on the prize and maintain your good fortune through hard work and effort. The Nine of Cups used to be called the wish card because you'd be making a wish at the beginning of the reading, and if the Nine of Cups appeared, your wish was sure to be granted. Its reading is certainly a good sign that you have either achieved what you'd hoped to or are well on your way to doing so. You should definitely take your time to celebrate every achievement along the way, but the journey still continues and you want to keep your eye out for the future. So maybe you had hoped to get over somebody. Another way this could be is this guy could have shown you his truth and you were trying to stay neutral and not make a decision either way, and you were fighting with each other and had a choice to make between your reality and what you wished for. But the divine has kind of shown you the truth. You can't hide from the truth. Even in the darkness, it'll come about, you know? It's gonna show you. And if you notice in this Ace of Swords, the cloud here, right? So you have the High Priestess with this swirl and this cloud. It's almost like the High Priestess is looking down into their crystal ball, gazing at this swirl, this tornado that's going on, as you're trying to keep all of your wands up and strive for happiness and strive for balance. But inside, you're keeping this balance of swords and sneaking away with it. And this Emperor is being very truthful. The Emperor is very headstrong. And so you look at your investment, what you've sown, and you walk away from it because you're just gonna like give it up to the world and say what will be will be. And you're gonna put down this burden. You've been carrying this burden, this experience that you're grateful for, but you feel sad, betrayed, on an island when you should be happy with these cups have spilled over, because you're so focused on these 3 cups, you don't see the 2 cups that are full. You don't see the party going on behind you. You're just looking at the spilled cups going into the water. And I think this guy will come back trying to give you, you know, this same guy that was the King of Swords, the same guy that was sneaky in the past while you were trying to be balanced and keep all the wands up in the air. is actually going to come back and try and win you over again. But he's still the sneaky person, see? He was sneaky before and he's still sneaky now. So maybe he's just trying to see if he can get you back. But you're good. You're balanced. And now you're not focused on those cups in the end, because you came out of this and you found your serenity, you found your peace, and you found your tower of your chalices perfectly balanced behind you. And you know who you truly are. You know the answer. You know the truth. And you're going to move forward. Like this crab tempting this cat at play, you know that that crab, if he snaps out and grabs you, it's gonna hurt. You learned your lesson. So even if you play with this crab, you know what you're getting into. So why do it? Why go back to this sneaky person? The love isn't real, right? So I think this definitely was about some love question for the collective. And you may be in separation, but he may be coming back to you. And for the members that I'm seeing, you've got a lot of 8s and 2s. We'll say 8 and 2s. And here, 2s mean relationships or choices. And 8s are power and movement, or the lack of. And you definitely have movement forward, I think. You also had a lot of 7s, which is reflection, planning, and decisions. So you also had 10s too, like completion, something coming to an end, fulfillment. So it's almost like this. Okay, so the King of Swords, for instance, the 2. You had this guy with relationship and choices. You have the 2 of Wands, which is relationships and choices with chaos, conflict, and loss. You have the High Priestess with the Ace, which is new beginnings or opportunities. You have the 8 of Wands, okay, with is power and movement with conflict, chaos, and loss. But this is also the happiest. This is a 10. Completion, something coming to an end, fulfillment. So the 8 of Wands would be power and movement, something coming to completion, coming to an end, or also fulfillment. The Temptress with the reflection, planning, decisions. So trying to plan and balance. The Emperor. 5 of Swords with a 7, which is more chaos and conflict, but with reflecting on the chaos and conflict. And then you have the World with the 8s, which is, again, shows a lot of moving on with the World. You have the 10 of Wands, which is completion, something coming to an end, fulfillment with the 4, which is stagnation and stability. So finding stability and carrying the burden. And then you have the 5 of Cups, which is chaos, conflict, loss again, with the completion. Like, that's coming to an end. This feeling of conflict and loss is definitely coming to an end. And then you have the King of Cups with the 7 of Swords, which is again